Okay. Alright, so prothome first we'll take water. Take deep yellow. Don't worry about how it's spreading. Just spread it so that you get a even background. Now since this is the sky, we will not paint like this or like this. It's always even strokes. Strokes will be light. And now take orange and apply from above. And as you come down, you can let it mix with the yellow, but not like mixing with the brush. You just run the strokes and let it mix on its own. Okay? Imagine where you want clouds, where you want breaks. So एक hint है, since I'm using a regular paper, there's a lot of run because the paper is becoming up and down, right? If you don't want that to run, so one of the things is to remove that extra water. Now use a regular brush because with this I think paper anyways is not meant to handle this much water. That's why you will get a lot of stuff. So at this point, now we are going to take blue. You can take cobalt blue. Magenta, the one in the middle. And then use it with a little water. Use water to spread it downwards. Eta pahad. Eta ki ho jati, it is becoming too plain, right? So I'm going to increase. So if it is spreading, then try controlling the amount of water. I mean, if it is spreading here, it means this is not dried completely, right? Whereas this part it has, right? So the idea is to, if you are getting this, one is you can use it to your advantage. The other one is wait till and then use and then paint the second part. Here I am going to use it to my advantage. What I am going to do is I am going to make this part look as if it was meant to have that. It could be trees at a nearby. So I will make this nearer. These will become far. ওই কালারটাকে apply water like this below so that it spreads down. বুঝতে পারছি? So I'll show an example. ধরো I've drawn a line like this, right? Now I'm taking little water and then I'm flattening the brush and pulling it. So what happens? The extra paint in this spreads down and it gives you a rundown effect. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of the deep yellow to the same blue to get this green, a very dirty, more like sap green. I'm going to use that to color this part. এই জায়গাতে I'm going to mix the same blue with a little bit of the orange that I have. Basically we're just trying to mix these. খুবই লাইট। ওখানে যেহেতু আমি অরেঞ্জ আর ওই ব্রাউন মর্কিং দিয়েছি, কাইন্ড অফ পুটিং ইট here. কোনো ডাউট? যেখানে যেখানে তোর লাগছে এখানে একটু ডার্ক করলে ভালো হয়। I'm using a slightly darker part of this blue to create the effect of trees. এখানে এখানে হালকা ডার্ক হয়ে যাচ্ছে। Then wait, since my paper is very thin, see, using the grains, right? This is a regular drawing paper. What I'm doing here now, since there is open, I'm going to start adding some elements. Since this is reddish, I'm going to add the orange with blue to get a warm version of the dark shade, right? And then I'm going to use that to kind of show some sort of a settlement. So what I'm doing is I'm utilizing that as the negative space. when it dries, this is going to become lighter. Vita Kanoki, they can't wait for it to dry. So for them, the idea is to keep the paint moist. They avoid runs like these, because ideally runs are not supposed to be having runs is not supposed to be a good sign. I find it pretty. So what they do is that only, they don't let water accumulate that much. So one layer, then use the sponge or the cloth or tissues to dab and reduce the amount of. When does the run happen? When there is a film of water on top of the canvas, when the canvas is not able to soak in too much, or too much water has been poured on, giving the canvas little time to soak in, right? So then that water starts flowing, right? When what do you say? When you have a lot of water flowing, the amount of water at a particular place will cause that to become a trough, and then the water can't. They use layers, one layer, 2 layers of wet on wet, and large final paint till they get that texture. With higher quality papers and higher quality paint, you don't actually have to. They make the paint as dark as possible with water in the palette itself. Okay, so what they do is, once they apply, they know that it is going to be 2 shades lighter, so they're already applying 2 shades darker. So even when it dries, if they see that it is losing color, then they'll apply another coat. The papers are so good that it takes another coat without affecting the coat below, which is not like this. Here, once it dries, if I apply some more water and paint, the paper itself will tear. That doesn't happen with better papers. For example, Brushtro also, this is like hardly 50 GSM, or not even 50 GSM, 20 GSM I think. These are drawing sheets, right? But if you are using 200 GSM, 250 GSM, it's thick, so that much of water it will soak. Settlement I've just done the outlines like this. Okay? So okhane I have made it darker. So this place I am going to use the same combination. So I'm improvising on this one. Once this has dried a little, now I can play around with the shadows. So then I can give details. না এটা মানে করতে করতে হয়ে যাবে, তো তুই টেনশন নিস না. The whole point is to enjoy the journey. Ideally কি হয়, in nature there is no absolute color. The absolute colors are imaginations of the artist. The same tree can get multiple variations একটা গাছের মধ্যে in the same tree itself. So ideally if you look at a people tree, when it is blooming, the light falling at the tip, যেখানে কচি পাতা, there are tender leaves, it will be red, দেখবি, then it becomes slightly light green, transparent light green, and then you will have the green solidifying and then becoming dark green wherever the trees are old, and wherever the leaves are old, and when the leaves where the leaves are kind of drying out, they'll again become brown. Absolutely. So the whole concept that the tree has to be green or the tree has to be in absolutes, it is only artists who are like no this has to be like that. But in nature if you look at it, even in a single tree, no color is absolute. ठीक तो. So if we think of that and paint, then you will have so many possibilities कि okay এটাতে এমনিও করা যায়. See, the whole point is try this as an exercise. যখনই আঁকতে বসবি, use this to stimulate what you want to draw. কেন কি এতে কি হচ্ছে, you are not sitting with a what do you call framework, which means you are letting the paint decide the framework of what you are going to do, which becomes a challenge. কেন কি হয়, initially you will see, array, this is not going how I wanted, but then slowly start observing how the paint is going. That is the idea. The idea is to observe how the paint is flowing and then try to imagine what can be that shape. So মনে আছে, when you were a kid, you'd look at clouds and say, oh, that's a whale, that's a plane, right? So trying to do the same thing with this. Start spreading. It is not going according to you, then you try to see what you can do with it, or what does the color want to be, and then help it. যেমন এখানে এটা রয়েছে, right? This is totally not something that you would expect it. So this looks like a hill, but it's not a hill, right? That option to make it a river. But then again, it depends on practice. So stroke work আসতে হবে, you have to get that hang of getting into that practice. যতক্ষণ না ওইটা হচ্ছে, even if you imagine, to get it down on paper will become a task. But if you're able to imagine, then all you have to do is practice the strokes, practice the basic foundation strokes, and then you're back into the game. বুঝতে পারছি? I hope it makes sense.